Welcome to another episode of Mom Talk. Today we have Jenya with us from Canada.
Hi, guys. So I'm so happy to see you and hear you, and I am honored to be the guest on your show.
And we are so happy to talk to you because we miss you so much.
So much. I miss you guys. Like seriously, word can describe like how much you mean to me and impact my life.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, we work with Jenya at Eden. Jenya, how long were you there with us?
I was with Eden like almost 10 years. I started 2007 and I left 2016.
The best 10 years.
Absolutely. Definitely impact. As you know, I was like born and raised like in Russia, which was like former Soviet Union. And then like my early 20s, like life happened and I met my ex-husband, Victor, who is American. And we have some military traveler. And then like we end up to be in Kentucky/Tennessee, Fort Campbell since 2003. But originally, yes, I am from Russia.
That's pretty different than Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely. Everything was different. I left Russia when it's nothing like what you see right now. Like it still was like kind of leftovers of Soviet Union. So it was like just chaos all over. It was really bad. So for me, it was like definitely different, like mindset and way I raised and way like here I am, like come to United States, like even met like like American guy, like it was totally different.
What did you think? Before meeting Victor, did you ever think you wanted to come to the United States?
Never, never a million years because like I did grow up like in Soviet Union and I grew up like far east of Russia. So it's pretty much like civilization didn't get to me
Mm.
until I left Russia, like this when I started to see civilization. And I remember I heard about some of my friends who went to visit like United States. And I remember like she was telling these stories about United States. And I thought, oh my gosh, like I even not gonna think about this. Another life exists. So, and it's never crossed my mind. I never thought like I'm gonna be immigrant. I never thought I'm gonna be married to American guy. And I never speak English, like honestly in school, when I went elementary school in Russia, it's mandatory, like start to learn second language. And I start to learn English. But then a couple years in, I'm like, it's never going to be part of my life. So I'm just not.
When did you pick up English then?
Oh, history. I mean, like I said, it's mandatory to learn second language. So I did have amazing teacher and she did put like amazing, like fine blueprint into me, So I knew how to read, but I didn't know how to speak, right? She gave me the basic, like how to count 1 to 20 because I am English second language. Once you know how to count 1 to 20, then it's so easier to figure out how to count until 100. I have this basic blueprint of English, but then life happened. I've been drawn outside immigration, moving to different country and met my ex-husband. He had so much patience with me. I remember first gift he gave to me, it was Oxford dictionary. I still have it, like it's by pages now. I go as I learn English as I go. And maybe you guys remember, like when I first started in 2007 at Eden, I honestly saying like I didn't speak English, as much as I speak
As
now.
much. Yeah.
So
So I know to you, Russia's completely normal where you grew up, and we have no idea what that's like. I remember one time you told me that kids get potty trained way earlier over there. What are the big differences you can tell us?
I think like big differences for me, it was like, I don't know, like in my experience, because I have a daughter back in Russia and I was the parent like back in Russia. And Again, remember this time, it's not social media, not even a library where I can go and find some information, how to raise your kids. So it's pretty much like whatever, like my grandmother said, my mom, or I see the neighbors or my friends. When I moved to United States and I see the difference, how it's more laid back, easier, less stress to raise the kids compared to me in Russia. My daughter probably can testify on this. I think I would try so hard to be perfect. Yes, like back in Russia, whatever how bad it was, Russians, like Soviet Union, whatever, like Russia was always good, like for maternity leaves. Like government would pay you like 25% of your like monthly in compared to your monthly income. You can stay home with your kid up to 3 years.
Wow. So not 6 week maternity. Like,
Nope, like after like seriously, and right before you giving birth, like around 7 months pregnant, those time it was like again 29 years ago, I was getting some maternity grant to have a kid. And I remember it was amazing because we were so poor. They give you some really good chunk of money. And I was staying home probably until she was 18 months. I have all this time in the world and it's normal for us to start your kid early potty training because I honestly just didn't have the funds to buy her diapers. This was just harsh reality and it was cheaper and more efficient. You train them and they were amazing. Kids like amazing, like they like sponges. They're gonna learn, they're gonna repeat everything, especially they love you so much in the first couple of years. They believe you, everything. Oh yes, like they like, oh my mom, like she's like best person in the world.
so what about when you did go back to work? What did she do?
Back in Russia, here's the other thing I compare when I moved to United States and I see the difference, and especially when I start to work at Eden's, because most of the girls working here, right, mamas. Back in Russia, we have amazing preschool, like child care, and it's like pretty much paid by government. I mean, you would pay like some little chunk, like just seriously financially, it's not even gonna hurt you. When I was born, my mom put me in this daycare called kindergarten. It's pretty much like based on a parent schedule. Like it's open 7 a.m. You pick it up your kids at 6. Feed, like pretty much the government feeds you, like, because it's all municipal. And kids been fed, like kids been sleep. Here's the other thing. I was in shock when I learned, yes, kids in the United States, preschool or daycare would take a nap, but they don't have a bed. They would still wear clothes. When back in Russia, they're actually going to be unclothed, go to the bed like for a couple hours during the day. It was like just like home. And I remember how much I love it to be daycare like myself. And I remember on Saturday, some parents work. And I remember they asked me, like, Jenya, can you please stay home? And I'm like, no, I really need to go see my people. So same went for my daughter when she was probably 2 years old. I was able to find spot for her in a daycare, like this kindergarten, and she started like her journey. And
Okay.
it's like,
What do you feel like the big differences between schools here and there?
it is different. I don't want to say it because I didn't go high school here or middle school here. I was like just again born and raised in Russia and I went to like Russian school. It was different, even like appearance, like again, I'm Soviet Union, for girls it was mandatory, like we always have a braid, hair always have to be like in a ponytail, like we did wear uniform until pretty much like my couple years of like high school. And I remember like this time it uniform was canceled. And I remember like my friend's mom was saying like, now you guys were truly gonna see who have a money and who doesn't, like in the family, because uniforms equalize you, like, you like kind of all even. And so here we are, like when my daughter starts like her first grade, like in Fort Campbell, I don't remember the school name. Probably I would remember if I like somebody tell me. At first Campbell, it was a little bit different. Again, it was like all laid back. And I remember our teachers, in my experience, they're so demanding, like they're so strict. And I remember even like teacher like she was beating us, she would take the rulers, and if we not paid attention, like she would be like, just
Pop you.
yes. Compared to how I see my daughter, she didn't struggle academically in school, and how I was in a way rough childhood and so much stress. So and same time, I see, I don't know, maybe because again, like age generation differences, like for me, it was like I have to grow up and toughen up, and because I end up to move in different country. And for my daughter, like she never had this experience. So she don't need to be like toughen up. Like she just have easy laid back education, middle school, elementary school, high school. I don't know. It is different. I think it is absolutely different.
And you think she can't even remember being in school in Russia?
Daycare, yes.
Just daycare?
Because when she was 5 years old, daycare, like kindergarten, she remember her friends. We have a bunch of pictures, like huge bow. And again, all girls have to have set up their hair, like Victoria wear hair right now.
Jordan's good.
Jordan is good.
Do you think she's happy when y'all came to the United States? How did she take that?
I always receive this question about how's your daughter take when you become an immigrant, like moving. And I always said, you know what? I think kid is happy when mama happy. And it doesn't matter if it's full family or like you just like single mom. I truly think like kid is fine. If mama happy, you're gonna be happy. If mama Ryan crazy, like it doesn't matter. Like she been surrounded by all her loved and family, like never move in her life.
I want to hear about your pregnancy and your birth in Russia. Like, how was that?
Oh boy. Russia, it's like old school, all natural, no, like not even options, right? And
When epidural there?
I mean, nowadays,
Yes.
but
Okay.
this time, nope, not options for me. And I got pregnant when I was 19, right? So I gave birth like I was 20. And what happened, I got pregnant, like pretty much I've been pregnant like through the winter time because her birthday end of the April. So I would have to wear these heavy coats because it's so cold, right? And I'm telling you, I look ugly. Even 20 years old. And my daughter's like father, this time he's like 3 years older than I am. I remember somebody saw us in a superstore and they were asking then somebody like, hey, if she's older than he is, it's how ugly I was looking with this winter coat. And you remember, Jordan, I told you like how girls, if you're pregnant with girls, like they take all your beauty.
Yes, you were right.
You were right. And I'm seriously, I don't remember I was like looking glowing or anything. I was 20 years old. And again, in Russia, right, when you start to go to the clinic for maternity, they keep tracking you pretty much before the birth, like you start to go every week, but prior to that, like probably a few months, you go once in a couple weeks. They were so strict, they're like such a Nazi, like about watching you gain weight.
Oh, wow.
And
How much are you supposed to gain?
no more than like 15 kilograms, which is like 30 pounds.
Okay.
If you start to gain more, like they're really strict. I remember she was not allowed to drink me water. I was so thirsty. And she's, no, if you're going to drink water, you're going to gain weight, which is true, right? Like glass, like you drink glass of water, I don't know, like cup of water, and suddenly you have a 2 pounds. So anyway, it was really strict and really mean. Like nurses and doctors, like back in Russia. I remember like I would do on purpose to book appointment early in the morning, like 8 o'clock, first appointment. So I would wake up, not eating, and I would walk. So I lose some calories, but at least like I have this wiggle room when I stay in the scale, they would not give me a hard time.
Oh my gosh.
That's brutal.
That is brutal.
Yes,
Did you walk to all your appointments?
pretty much, yes. And I remember winter time.
Yeah.
I would take public transportation because I never drove in Russia. So I take public transportation. Then I would get up my bus stop previous stop. So I have like more room to walk, you know. But those doctors was like So anyway, when I started giving birth, like I was in labor probably for 36 hours altogether. Like
Wow.
when you first start to notice your contractions and then until you giving birth. And I remember like here I am in the hospital at midnight, like so it's 12 hours before I give birth. Doctor came, anesthesiologist, and she give me anesthesia. She just put me like sleep. And I'm like, why you putting me to sleep? She's, well, it's like whole night. Nobody gonna babysit you. You just sleep. You wake up in the morning and we're gonna give birth when we change the shift. I'm like, and I remember
Now, baby, after my
And I remember like I'm laying in the bed and she gave me like this shot like into my arm and she look at me and I see the pity in her eyes and she asked like, honey, how old are you? And I'm like, I remember her look. She probably thought, you poor thing. I gained less than 30 pounds. So if I start my pregnancy, I was like little bit over 100 pounds.
oh wow.
So like giving birth, I was like what 160, do not know about pounds. Anyways, and on top of this, not being glowing or beautiful at all, and 20 years old, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's sad looking.
Was anybody with you at the hospital? How does that work?
No, absolutely not allowed. Like when I wake up early in the morning, I think 5, 6 o'clock early in the morning with strong distractions. I realized I don't want to see nobody. It's no painkillers, nothing. I was allowed to walk. So I would be walking. I look at the window. It's like end of the April. It feels so gloomy. It was rain. And I remember I would not handle anybody who would stay next to me, behind me, or even try to pat my back, saying, honey, you be okay. I know without you, I'm going to be okay. I felt it's natural. You just want to hold on to the bed and start to breathe. I never took any like birth, like classes or anything, but I kind of knew I do not want to scream. Like, I don't want to like scream. And I was like, just staying there and came to me like naturally I start to breathe between contractions. Did I say it correct? Contraction?
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I just start to breathe. And I remember like it was the other girl next room and she was screaming. And I remember like doctor was like walking or nurses in her room and saying, what's the big deal? Why are you screaming? Just ow. And so here I am, like my personality do not want to be in trouble. And doctor walk in and she's, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I remember I grabbed the hand like a doctor or like nurses and I say, am I supposed to scream? Tell me. And she's, do you want to? And I'm like, I don't know. Tell me, what is it good? What is not good? Like she's, no, you not have to scream. And so, and around like 6 a.m., like new doctor came, her shift started, and she's, we are gonna poke your whatever water,
Break your water.
we're gonna break your water so your contractions will start progressing. She did that. Again, no painkiller, nothing. And yes, it started to go more progressive. I still was able to walk all over the place. And doctor would come over every time because I'm so quiet. They like come over, listen me. And honestly, it's not like they show here in the United States, all this machine and monitoring. They would take like this little pipe, like a wooden one, put it against their ear and my belly and just listen like baby heartbeat. And that's it.
This is crazy. Wow. Oh,
This is crazy. So here I am in a room having contractions. And around noon, probably 11:30, they said, okay, you need to get up and we go to different room, like delivery room, like labor room. And she's, because her head almost was already like showing, she's just be careful, do not sit down, completely sit down position when you're gonna climb to this chair. And chair was so high, like high, like their level, like doctor's level, like, their chest. She's, now you have to climb. So I climbed there and realized like, "Oh, I will not leave this chair without baby." So I'm just, when it's time to push, I kind of got lazy. I'm like, oh, she'll come out anyway, eventually. And again, those time, like I even didn't know who I have, like what I have, like it's gonna be girl or boy. Like I didn't know, like they never tell me.
No ultrasound? No gender
Mm-mm. I mean,
reveals?
I had ultrasound. Yes, I have it twice. And every time when I ask, and they're like, no, we're not telling you. One lady, one doctor once tell me like, well, it looked like a girl, but she wasn't certain. And I'm like, okay, I better not ask. Yeah, I want a girl so bad. I even make some wishes. Like my best friend also was pregnant with me, but she was 3 months earlier. And I remember like creating in my head like this idea. She didn't know what she had. And I thought if she's gonna have a girl, it means I'm for sure gonna have a boy, right? Or if she have a girl, some kind of like scenario I play in my head. And here we are, she have a girl, and now I'm like suddenly in my head, I'm like, it's no way two of us gonna have a girl. I'm probably have a boy, but I was craving for the girl so bad.
Got her.
I got her like on your anyway. So here I am, like sit down, like be down on this chair, start to pushing, and it was like pediatrician came, nurse was like in front of me, like when she was saying push, and doctor was like walking behind me, like just hurry up. It was like lunchtime for them.
Wow.
And the next thing I know, nurse took a scissors, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? We're just gonna help you. When it's time to come for another push, all of them starts to screaming like push, push. I give birth my baby girl. She didn't cry right away. So pediatrician was doing some because she did have this umbilical cord around her neck. So she even was different colors for a moment. And then I was asking doctor, I'm like, who is it? Is it girl or a boy? And he's, you didn't know what you have? And I'm like, no. And he's, let me see. "Ah, it's a girl." I was so happy. And anyway, I love her. Since I got pregnant, like how much I really just gained like this loving instinct, nesting. You just want to be mama.
Yeah, like how much you can really love somebody.
Oh, absolutely. For a while, you guys were my witness. I tried to get pregnant to have more kids. It just never happened. But in my head, I always thought like, how in the world, like I can get like second kid and give it like second kid, like as much attention and love if I love her so much. Like when you're pregnant with Henry, and I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do it. Like,
I definitely felt that way until he was here. And then I was like,
oh,
okay, I'm gonna be all right.
oh, absolutely. Like kids different. And you remember how like when you're pregnant with Henry, like how you're worried about like how am I gonna teach him to be a boy? And then next thing we know, like he's outside in the mud, like he like the cars, like he just a boy.
Yeah, they're just born like that. You don't have to do a thing.
And you're just gonna love them. I mean, second kid never happened for me, but I for sure would love it like in second and third and whatever how many kids would if I would ever have, would love them.
You would even go through that birth scenario again.
What? Like to experience
That labor that cut open, I'm like, I can't unhear that.
while I was in the hospital in Russia, like after when I given birth, like I still was staying in the hospital for a week.
Okay.
They not kicking you out right away.
Kick you out. Yeah.
No, and so here's the other girl. She have cesarean, and like those time back in Russia, like they would completely put you in like sleep. You wake up and here you are cut open, and here's your baby. I honestly, for a moment, like before go to labor, like I thought, oh, I want to like C-section. Her like scars was like so severe because Russia, like seriously, those time they're like butcher you. I think it was like craft, like you know, from what disaster. I remember she showed me, like this is like really traumatic experience. And I think with C-section back in Russia, they stay longer in hospital.
Yeah, they probably have to.
Correct.
After being like an X across the belly.
Yeah, it's like X, like that time, like she was cut it like by like seriously. I don't know, disaster.
That is intense. How is your daughter now, Jenya?
Well, my baby girl gonna be 29 this year,
That's-
end of April. She's doing amazing. She now live in California.
Okay.
Sacramento. So she's doing good. She's happy. She's all grown up. And I'm telling you, it's the reason like God create children go through teenagers so you can disconnect yourself from them. Because like when they babies, you love them so much and you would never in a million years let them go to, but they have to be ugly for us to say, you know what, just go, be happy, be somebody else's problem. And otherwise, I would never disconnect from her or not disconnect. I mean, like just let her go, like up my side. But she's grown up woman now. You know, she's 29. I can't believe it. She's smart. She's happy. She loved. You know, like it's all I want for her, just to be the best. But
Good.
my memories, I become one of these like women, like, oh, that baby girl, I remember her. Like,
Aw. Did she move there when you moved to Canada? I can't remember.
okay, here's what happened. When me and Victor start to get divorced, I start to have this idea. I think I want to move to Canada, like challenge accepted. Little I know my daughter, actually, this time she still was in the high school, pretty much last year of high school. And we start to think about we're going to apply for University of New Brunswick here in Canada, like both of us going to. For her, it would be easier to move because like she just have to apply like for University of New Brunswick and she would have like student visa. But for me, I have to have like job offer, even to be USA citizen, Canada, like neighbors, like just move, right? No, you still have to go through all this immigration process. So, and pretty much like I went to Canada first. We start to apply for her University of New Brunswick. But I went to Canada like in March, like no, April somewhere. Yes, 2016, and I was looking for job. You know, like I had for job, like then talking to the spa owner, so she would do like me job offer and immigration would be okay. And so here I am. I went there first time, and she's Jenya. I'll do it. I do all this immigration paperwork. Welcome to Canada. When I received this news, my daughter was saying, you know what? I changed my mind. I do not want to go with you. And I was like, okay, I'm going to cancel all this. I'll stay with you. And she's, no, you go. You deserve to be happy. I'll be okay here in Tennessee. And she did. She did good. And I'm, will you come back? Will you come? She's, yeah, just give me a moment. I may be going to move to Canada with you. So here I am, end of September, beginning of October. I'm already here in Canada. And she stayed behind in Tennessee, and probably following like year in the summer, she decided like she gonna move to California with Victor's parents.
Mhm.
And it's where she been since. Like, you know, like I said, she laughed, she safe, she's good. She just doing her adulting life, you know. And she came here a couple times to Canada. To, like, I'm happy to see her, but she haven't been in the same place where I live now.
Where are you now?
I am still in New Brunswick, but I'm more in northern, close to Quebec. It's not really a convenient place to travel. Kim Hudson,
Oh, yeah.
she was in Quebec City, and it's 5 hours away, like driving. But I wasn't in a condition of like, you know, it's like for me to, I need to drive there and then entertain, you know, like to give this energy. But I would love to, of course, if it would be now when it's sunshine and no snow, I would drive 5 hours, not a big deal. But right now, the place where we are, it's just so inconvenient for travel like this.
Well, how is it with your business there?
Okay, business. So let me tell you about this spine salon from Clarksville, Tennessee. It's had like amazing, like most positive impact in my life. And you know, like you're the only spa I ever worked in Tennessee, like for 10 years. And when you say like it's a family, it is a family.
Mhm.
And I remember when I first have interview with Amy, and Jennifer upstairs when I first came 2007. And Amy was saying, like, Jenya, it's like business oriented, family built business. We are in the second generation and we are nothing like just family. And we are always going to be 100% on your side. But this, like I said, I came from United States or from Russia, like from Soviet Union, like it's total different mentality, like you guys pretty much did CPR on me, all my mentality, and give me like most amazing experience. Like I felt and I still care in my heart. So when I moved to Canada and I honestly thought, well, what can be wrong to start another Ayurveda family in Canada? They're going to be same. And no, it's not place like Eden, like from Clarksville, Tennessee. It's seriously. And when I moved here 4 years ago up north, where I am right now, finally I start to work with Ayurveda, like me. But Ayurveda is like such an amazing like line and product. So I can't be hiding in a one room. I bought a building. I'm building like bigger spa and I could find the name for the spa. I was thinking one name, then another name. Last year, me and my daughter went to Dominican Republic, and I was telling her, I'm like, listen, I couldn't find the name for my new spa. I'm like, I probably gonna call it Eden. I'm like, no, what? It's actually not a bad idea. She just do it. And I'm like, seriously. And then when I asked some people around, what do you think if I name it Eden? They're like, yeah, do it. Then I was texting Amy saying, hey, Amy, just gonna give you heads up. I opened a new spa. It's gonna be Eden. She's so happy. She's like, Jenya, my mom, Judy, would be thrilled. Seriously, trying hard to bring my Clarksville, Tennessee Eden into this Eden. Try to build family, so because like most of us, like we spend like majority of our time at work.
Right.
So we rather feel like family when we grow together. And you would not believe, like I said, how Clarksville either have such a big impact on my life. And when I moved to Canada, and I remember like I was so lonely and by myself for a long time, I can feel it like it's Jamie in me. What Jamie would do. What Jenny Rochelle, like what she would do, or sometimes it's Donna, sometimes it's Michelle, Amber, all of us. And I love it. All of us have such a big impact in my life. I honestly think Jenny, all hair salon girls in Tennessee, they did raise me and change me with love. Now looking back, like I'm freaking Soviet Union, like never smile, never talk. And then Jamie, she is my everything.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. I'm like, every time, like when I was like telling some stories, like it's not even 50-50, like it's like pretty much like 70-80%, like I'm talking about my Tennessee Eden, Right now I'm trying to be like same, like of course it's not gonna be same, but try to build like family oriented, like to be so tight, like amazing. Eden, they spine salon, Campbellton, New Brunswick, Canada, but you guys should know, like it's extension of your love and everything what I learned from Tennessee.
Aw, well, I'm so happy for you. Are you loving it?
I'm okay. I'm alive.
Or really hard? What's hard work?
It is hard work, and I left to come to Canada and I ended up by myself and alone. And it was really hard, and Canada itself, like it's not easy place to live, and on top of this, like immigration, and on top of this, like if I would like, I can compare like when I came to United States, I was married. I don't have to worry about who gonna pay for my like mortgage or my car, right? Like I have like my husband, ex-husband. But now here I am, like came to Canada and I by myself, like working woman, and it's total different expectation and reality. First I thought, oh, it's just gonna be like Eden. No, it's not. And I was like by myself, like no support and stuff like this. So it was really hard. So where I am right now, I'm telling you, I work really hard to be as much as content I can be, but I'm still working on it, like on my happiness and to be established, you know.
Right. Well, you look great.
Well, thank you. Thank
Look
you,
at your
girls.
skin glowing. I know. You have the glow now.
I'm glowing.
And get to for the rest of your life.
I know. I remember like 2007 when I first walked in, like Jordan, the monk who greeted me. And I still was in a beauty school. And I honestly thought, oh my gosh, such a beautiful place. They probably going to be so snobby. But Jordan was like, let me take you to the garden room because I was like saying, hey guys, I heard you hiring. Can I fill up some application? And you're like, let's go, follow me to garden room. And I remember like I sit down there on the couches and like smell of Aveda. And I was like thinking, Lord, like I must work here. Like I belong to this place. And
Such a good
so
memory, too.
oh, absolutely. Because it was, like I said, it was so stressful, you know, like it's out of my comfort zone. And I didn't speak English much. I came in February 2007. Jamie didn't call me back probably end of May.
Oh, wow.
And when she called me end of the May, and this time, of course, no social media, no smartphones. Like I remember, like I asked Victor, can you run to Walmart and print some pictures from beauty school? I would like make here. He went so exciting for me. So here I am later on when all of us hang out together. I always ask Jamie, why in the world would you hire me? I'm not speak English. I just like straight out like beauty school and stuff like this. I'm like, why? The other girls like came with me as well. And Jamie like, Jenya, way you walk in, like your attitude, like you are like just have to be. And I still remember like I wear this huge heels, like I said, it was such a stressful moment. Like you always gonna have these small details. I do remember how I was dressed up and way I feel and how I walk in into Eden Clarksville.
And it worked. You got Jamie hooked.
Oh, love my Jamie. Miss Jamie so much. Miss all of us. Like,
I know. We miss you.
oh, like couple years ago, like all before this Eden happened, I was in a severe depression, really bad. And I honestly was like this much close. Like if like when I moved to Canada, right? I pretty much sell everything, like furniture, everything, you know, like I was like just took a little like shoes. I still have a trailer when I drove from States to Canada. But this time, like few years ago, when I have this severe depression, like I wake up in the morning and I was like just I barely can get up my bed. And I was like thinking, if I gonna leave right now, I just gonna take my passport and maybe box of pictures like I have photography and I'm like leave everything behind. And I remember my friend Jenka, who live in Florida, because we stay in touch all the time, she was texting me and saying, do you want me to come to get you? And I knew she would drop everything and she would fly and pick me up. And I was telling her, just give me a moment. I need to figure out this. But I was this much close. My passport was about to expire. I thought, you know what? Let me just go this morning, start my passport. And I probably gonna move back to Tennessee. It was really hard.
We'll beg you to come back anytime.
Oh,
Come back today.
oh, I know. Seriously, like winters here so harsh on me. So sometime I'm like feeling, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Seriously, would you go back? I honestly would divine everything and I would go back to Tennessee and be with you guys.
Okay. We're here, Jenya, anytime.
Well, hold on. You remember I'm not quitter, so I need to finish. I need to finish what I start, even
Okay, then.
let me see how far I can go with this. I'm 10 years older than I was when I left. So now I have to think about my retirement paycheck and, you know, like
Oh,
how long I can work. I mean, to be married, like it's not my goal, you know, and probably in my picture. Like I will not gonna have somebody who, oh, you can settle, you can go early retirement because I got you back, girl. I don't have this option. Like it's just me, strong and independent woman right now.
Well, you're killing it, it looks like. I follow all your social so I can keep up with the other Eden.
Of course.
So, Jenya, thank you so much for being on here. Everybody that's listening, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, our Spotify, and our Apple, and go and find Jenya. Where can they find you?
Same on Facebook, like Jenya Hall or Eden Spa, Eden Campbellton, and Instagrams. I'm all over social media.
Okay, we'll post it. So, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Jenya.